I was in my office right here when it happened, and it began as just the gentle rocking, and I had a graduate student with me, and we looked at each other like, because we'd been through several of the aftershocks before, and we looked at each other, and then the books started flying off the room, and we both jumped from the table over there to the floor and got into the door frame, and frightening, very frightening. Lights go out and you're just thinking, ooh. I yelled down the hall, is everybody okay? Does anybody need help? And nobody answered, and I yelled again, and you heard people start going, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay.
February at lunchtime, I was in the tea room in the EPS library when the earthquake hit, involved diving over a chair and holding open the door. After that, going out the room, physically picking students off the floor, putting their bags in their hands and basically pushing them out the door. On getting out the door, we initially cleared the building and encountered several students with blood injuries from shard broken glass, and the student had defensive wounds, and they were 5 or 6 1 centimetre gashes across the arm, where we basically took control of the situation and did basic blood work, bandaging, steri-stripping, and then had a couple of other students with further glass wounds on that day who came along, presented to us with 2 to 3 centimetre gashes in the webbing between the thumb and fingers, and it was just a matter of steri-stripping, bandaging, and then sending them on their way.
I work in the library, and we've reshelved 1 million books a couple of times now, I guess, and people have just been so determined and so passionate about getting these spaces open again for students and for staff and for the wider community as well.
The library started to get into gear by getting services, virtual services like the Ask Live online service up and going, to enable that students and staff who weren't on campus would still get access to knowledge, help and material. I came back to a new structure, a new place to work with new working people, so it felt like I was coming to a brand new job. So currently, as a liaison librarian, I can be on any different locations, anywhere, with basically what's in my backpack.
I used the Learn site, and we all were communicating online, asking, are you okay? Does anyone need help? We're here. We're not starting. Students started asking, when can we start up again? Which was interesting, because a great quote from Cornelia was that we were working in the 19th century and the 21st century at the same time. That we had no water, no sewage, no roads. You felt the infrastructure was crumbling, and yet we were in our homes communicating and getting that sense of community going, of people sharing those type of experiences.
I teach the law of evidence here at the University of Canterbury, and also a bit of first year teaching. With the law of evidence, I've completely changed the course actually. Now I play lots of videos, it's a lot more interactive, I have a lot more interaction with the students both in class and outside of class, and it's a lot more of a dynamic relationship that I have with the students, and I think that that's worked really well with some of the pragmatic difficulties with the earthquake, and it's something that that I want to expand in my other courses.
We had one person who was doing PowerPoints online, just narrating into them. We had people teaching on Saturdays, because the time schedule was so diverse, and that's the only time, because we had the lack of buildings that people could actually get into them. We had people doing digital lectures in front of their big screen TVs and putting that up on YouTube. We were teaching both intense online and face-to-face when the buildings opened up again. When we did get going, the students were right there, and they really appreciated our efforts to get this material out to them.
I felt I had to do whatever I could to assist in the heritage recovery effort, And so for a couple of months I spent a lot of time helping out the Historic Places Trust and the Christchurch City Council Heritage team. I could see my colleagues struggling to function in the teaching environment while I was struggling to cope in a totally changed heritage environment in which buildings that I have researched and studied and taken students to look at for the last 30 years were disappearing on a daily basis. And I became involved with an ad hoc group that formed after the February earthquake called Iconic, interested in conserving the identity of Christchurch, by repairing, strengthening and returning existing building stock to service. It was a way of getting the city back to life.
Like all of my colleagues, I really care about the idea of a university, about the importance of a university and public tertiary education and the role that it plays in our community. And I think that we all understand, and I'm quite certain that the wider community understands the important role that the university has in the rebuild of Canterbury.
This university in particular is probably best placed to be able to offer a leading hand in the real problems and opportunities, the difficulties that this town is going to face over the next 10 years or so.
It's about creating citizens who can think critically, who are creative, who are well informed, and the value of that to our community, it's immeasurable, and we must work now to protect that.